Hey everybody, Jason here. Taking a little trip to the store, the mall, pick up the new Body Count album, come out today. Huge fan of Body Count. Great metal. Anyway, I don't know how long this video will be. I've recorded a few videos in the past couple weeks, and I've not been happy with the quality of any of them. I don't know, I felt like I rambled more than I normally do. I don't know if it's because I've been just wanting to put out a video and didn't have tons of stuff to say, or maybe I have things to say, I just felt the pressure of wanting to put out a video kind of would override any sense of creativity I really had to put out a video. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there understand what that's like, whether it be through writing or drawing or painting or doing videos or whatever the case may be. Wanting to be creative so bad can sometimes hamper your creativity, and I've had that happen a lot to me recently, with both role-playing games and, you know, writing scenarios for games, or running a game, or designing mechanics for games, or creating new items for games. I've been working on some stuff for Merkborg. I actually got a lot of stuff written down for Merkborg, which is nice. I'll submit it to the cult. Probably, I don't know how soon, because I want to have a good amount of it put together before I send stuff into the cult for them to publish. If they decide that it's even worth publishing, I don't even know. But, so there's that. But just my, you know, lately, like 2 weeks ago, I ran a session of Tiny Dungeon, and that was my first time running Tiny Dungeon, or anything from the Tiny D6 line by Gallant Knight Games, and I was super excited to run that, because I was like, you know, it's not D20, it's not D&D 5th edition. Not that I have anything against D20, I love the system. I just want to do something different, you know. You get to the point to where sometimes you just want to do something different. And I was really excited that I had the opportunity to do whatever I wanted. I could run whatever game I wanted. And that was a problem for me. I got some sort of like choice paralysis, trying to decide what I wanted to run. Like, I had Talisman Adventures, which I felt fairly confident running. I'd never ran it before, and I've read through the book front to back numerous times. It's a great read, it's an easy read. I've talked about that on this channel before. But for some reason, I don't know why, when it got closer to game time, I just felt like it wasn't the right choice. I felt like I wasn't ready, maybe wasn't prepared enough, and maybe that was my problem. Maybe I should have just went with it, because I did. The system itself is not hard. Maybe it was the running of the adventure and the structure of the story that I was not comfortable. You know, maybe I should have taken better notes to help myself prepare for it. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But I had a couple other things in mind. I almost ran a session of Dragon Fist, the old Wizards of the Coast 2.5 AD&D / pre-3rd edition rules, the martial arts game that was released for free on the website. I'm sure I've talked about that on the channel before too. If you're into martial arts, or wuxia, or wuza, or I don't know how you say it. I could be butchering that term, or wuja maybe. You know, Japanese, Jesus. I'm out of it today. It was a long night last night. My daughter did not sleep at all last night. It was terrible. My wife actually is home right now, I put my daughter to bed a few minutes ago for nap time. My mom, Jesus, I'm so tired. My wife is staying home to watch my daughter right now. I'm making a quick trip to the store, and then I'm coming back, and it's just been a hell of a night. So my mind is really foggy, my brain is foggy, it's not working real well. But, and I've only had one cup of coffee, which is insane because it's after 1 o'clock, and by this time I'm usually on my third cup, sometimes fourth. I've had one cup of coffee, and that's it. But anyway, Dragon Fist, written by Chris Pramas, currently of Green Ronin fame, wrote and released that for Wizards of the Coast back in the day. And it was a free supplement, or it wasn't really a supplement. It was a full book. It was free. Anyway, it's a martial arts game. I have been wanting to run that game or play in that game since the day it came out, way back in, like, I don't know when it came out, like 2000, 2001, maybe, something, 1999, shit, I don't know. It was a long time ago, I know that. You know, almost 20 years ago. So, I mean, that's been on my to-do list for 20 years. I just have never had a group, I think, that would enjoy it as much as I would enjoy it. And I don't want to run a game to make myself happy. I want to run a game that everybody else can enjoy with me. I mean, I obviously want to enjoy the game that I play or run too, but if the players are going to enjoy a game less than I am, then I don't want to run it. Plus, I'm not a super experienced game master. I used to run a lot of games back in the day in high school and stuff, but I mean, that was more than 20 years ago also. I'm 41, so I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't ready to run that because I didn't think the group that I am playing with is ready for something like that. I just don't think it's their bag, you know. So, sorry, I've got a lot of phlegm. But so I ended up finally deciding that I was going to run Tiny Dungeon. And after I made my concrete decision to stick with Tiny Dungeon, and I decided that I was going to run the game, I was going to create a basic outline for a story. I wasn't going to write a whole adventure module. I was going to create the basic outline of a story and sandbox it and let's see where the players took it from there. And it went in completely the opposite direction that I thought it would go. Not even close. Yeah, I've got Dr. Pepper here. I don't drink a lot of pop, but I bought these Dr. Peppers so I could get these labels to get a Funko, exclusive Funko. So I got 3 Dr. Peppers that I've got to suck down at some point, and I need the caffeine, so. Shameless plug. Whew. For Dr. Pepper. So we ran Tiny Dungeon. I'm sorry, we played Tiny Dungeon. I ran it. I let the players, I gave them, I set it up, and the game took off, and they went in completely the opposite direction that I expected, which everybody says that your players are going to do what you least expect, which is true, and it happened. Not only did it not go in the direction I expected it to go, it went in a completely different tone than I expected. The direction of the story I didn't really mind. The tone of the game that they had, that they took it into, and the way we played, is not my preferred style of gaming. This thing's jiggling quite a bit there. I need to get a new setup here for this car. Completely opposite tone of what I expected. It was a completely juvenile, silly, completely murderous, evil little one-shot that we did. We had fun, and I laughed a lot, and they laughed a lot. the players who actually contributed. You know how that goes. And it was fun. It was a fun time. We had a good time together playing, and I'm glad we played. I don't think that Tiny Dungeon, unfortunately, I don't think that Tiny Dungeon is the type of game for that particular group of players that I have. I think it might be just a little bit too rules light. A couple of the guys that we play with started out playing Pathfinder, so they right off the bat were introduced to tons of crunch, tons of math, tons of options, which is funny in itself because, well, I won't get into that. So and they're not really the two of the guys that we play with. We're introduced to Pathfinder. We graduated up to 5th edition once that came out, and these people don't know how to drive. And we've been playing 5th edition ever since. So 5th edition, obviously, I would say rules medium, less crunchy than Pathfinder, but also not rules light. I don't think Pathfinder is super rules heavy. I think it's also on the heavier end of rules medium, but not rules heavy. I don't think there's tons and tons of crunch. But 5th edition, obviously, D&D is a lot more streamlined than Pathfinder is. Everybody knows that. If you've played Tiny D6, any of the games in the Tiny D6 line, or read any of the games in the Tiny D6 line, you know what I'm talking about. It's more narrative than anything else, and I really like that that style of gaming where it's more narrative. And I kind of want to graduate. I don't want to say graduate. I want it to maybe take a step back from the rules medium stuff, the heavier crunch, and go a little more old school. And I've got my eyes on a couple of different things that are not D&D, but are also not as rules light as Tiny D6, that may still catch the eye of my or the attention of my fellow players. I hope so, anyway. I personally would love to play Tiny Dungeon more. I just feel like it's not the game for my group, which is unfortunate because I think it's a very, very well-designed little rules-light game that you could do a lot with. But unfortunately, it just wasn't really their thing. I think there maybe just weren't enough rules and options and stuff to keep everybody mechanically interested. You have certain players that show up just to roll dice, kill things, and take loot, which is not what Tiny D6 is about. And you have some players who love the idea of being more narrative and not rolling as many dice. So the game became very lopsided. You know, two of our players latched onto it immediately, and one of the other guys that was there, one guy didn't show up, the other guy that was there, he was on his phone the entire night, and the only time he did anything was when he rolled dice to use one specific of his attacks. So it was fun, was had by most everybody there, but you know, again, not the game for my group, which sucks, but what can you do? We tried. However, I've got my eyes on a couple of other things, and I think they may be more in line with what my friends would like to play, as far as like the crunch of the rules. I want to get over, but there we go. As far as the crunch of the rules goes, I've got my eyes on a few more things that I think they'll be interested in. Things that are definitely a little more crunchy, which I think they will appreciate. And they are also not D&D based. So that's exciting. One of those things I will do a full review on. I've got the physical copy coming to me, I think from the UK, so it might be a little while before I get it. I do currently have the PDF, and I've read through it, and it's fantastic. I think it's, I could be wrong, but I think it's a precursor to another game that has had a lot of buzz in the last year, which I'm not going to name yet, because this game that I'm talking about, this game that I'm looking at and reading and wanting to play, it has zero footprint, I guess you might want to say, in the role-playing game community. I've seen no reviews, whether written, online. I've seen no reviews or talking about it on video online through YouTube or anything else. The website, nothing on forums. The website for the game is literally just, it's published by one of the biggest companies that publishes games right now. That's the only hint I will give you. But there's nothing about it. There's no advertisement for it. There's no footprint across the web for it. I don't know, but I am loving it. I'm loving it a lot. And once I get the physical copy, I will do an unboxing and a review for you guys, because I really would like for this game to get more attention, have more people notice it, and for it to go straight, for more people to realize that it exists, and for it to catch foothold and take off, because I think it's really awesome, and I think there are lots of things that could happen with it. Other than that, I still plan on running Talisman Adventures. In fact, miniaturemarket.com has the pre-orders up for the full rulebook, not just the playtest guide. And also, they just popped up something for a starter box. So I'm going to order the starter box and the full rules book, because I'm in love with this game. I think this system's fantastic. I think it's the lighter end of rules medium that my group would love and that I would love, that's not D20. And there's a narrative element to the mechanics, which is fantastic, because sometimes it's hard to incorporate a narrative element to a game that involves dice mechanics, because then sometimes it feels a little forced. But this is really clever, it's really cool. I don't know that it's super unique, but it works, and I'm really excited for it. And I don't know, yeah, it's very cool. So Talisman Adventures, I know I've been harping on that for a while. I also do plan on running Merkborg for my group, whether they want to or not. These fuckers are gonna play Merkborg, because I'm in love with this game, and I don't care what it takes. If I have to beg and plead and perform favors for them that I wouldn't do for anybody else, that I would probably rather not have on video, one way or another, I'm gonna play Merkborg with these guys. And I am now at the mall, so I am gonna get off here, and I will probably come back and do another video. I don't know how soon, but anyway, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I'm gonna have the unboxing and review for the game that I was speaking about, and it's gonna be exciting. I think you guys are gonna like it. So anyway, take care, peace out, and we'll talk to you later.